Hey guys, so in today's video we are going to be doing a review of Call of Duty Black Ops 6 Zombies. We are going to be covering the good, the bad, and of course the ugly of this Call of Duty Zombies experience. If you like videos like this and you would like to see more of it, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, it really helps me out. Don't forget to of course leave a like as well and turn on notifications, and without further ado, let's crack on with this. The first good thing I'd like to say about both Terminus and Liberty Falls is I actually think they're both pretty good maps as a whole, and they serve their purpose really well. For example, Terminus is more of a hardcore zombies experience, while Liberty Falls takes a more simplistic approach, and it achieves both of these things through both of these maps, and I'm really impressed with that. Another good thing is, I know I touched on this literally a second ago, but the atmosphere of Terminus is actually top notch. You've got the creepy caves, as you can see in this gameplay here. You've got all the underground labs, which I think adds a lot of aesthetic to the map. You've then just got the island as a whole with the dark thunder and lightning, the murky water. You've got abandoned islands, abandoned ships. Honestly, it's a real treat to see this, because when we didn't have things like this in Cold War. Cold War was more just military bases, and there was no atmosphere or personality to basically none of the maps. And it's really good to see that back in Zombies, and I hope they continue this throughout the DLC season, because they've hit the nail on the head with this one. Another good thing is the fact that Terminus actually has a set crew. Again, Cold War was not having this either, it didn't have anything like this, so to have a set crew back is a real treat once again, as the game feels more story driven, more personal, and you feel a little bit more connected with the characters, as in Cold War there was no characters to really be connected to apart from over the radios, which isn't the same, but this time Black Ops 6 has that set crew, and I can't wait to play with them throughout the whole of the zombie storyline for this game. I really like the fact that both of the Zombies maps at launch had a main quest Easter egg for you to complete. We've not really seen anything like this since Black Ops 4, but the problem with Black Ops 4 is too overwhelming, as there was 4 of them and there was lots of bugs and glitches. This time around, both of the Easter eggs are pretty solid in my opinion. I mean, Liberty Falls was a bit more basic, but Terminus had an epic boss fight, and there was lots for you to explore and do in these Easter eggs. The steps could have been a little bit better, but I'm just glad the Easter eggs are there as a whole, and I can't wait for the DLC season and what Easter eggs they cook up. Up next, I actually think that Liberty Falls is a very fun casual zombies experience. It has a simple layout, it's fun to grind camos on, it does a really good job at introducing new players to Easter eggs, because Liberty Falls Easter egg is quite easy with simple, easy to follow steps, even without the directing mode, and you can't ask more for that. I think it's very important to have a simple zombies map, in my opinion. I said in my review back in October of this map before it came out, I think it's good to have a simple zombies experience, and I think it's actually going to be quite fun, and Lord and behold, it actually is. It delivers on everything it's set out to do, and I'm really impressed with the simplicity of it. I don't think we'll ever get a simple map like this again in Black Ops 6, but it's good for people who are new to the mode, and I think with the Easter egg being so simple, it might get more people into the zombie storyline, which people will be more invested in the DLC season. I might even go back to some of the Treyarch classics, such as Black Ops 3, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 1. So you know what? Thumbs up to Liberty Falls, really good zombies map. Another simple one is the fact that the side Easter eggs available on both Terminus and Liberty Falls is a huge step up from Cold War. There's more of them available, and they're more unique, such as the Eforella trap, for example, in Liberty Falls. They have a bit more personality to them, and they're a lot more fun and enjoyable to do, but more importantly, especially in Liberty Falls, they're a lot more accessible as well, which means more people are going to be doing them and having a fun time with them. Up next, let's talk about the SAM trials. I actually think the SAM trials are a lot of fun. Most of them are not too hard to do, and it's an easy way to get rewards from salvage to even wonder weapons. I've only ever got a wonder weapon once from this, and that was a ray gun when I was doing a trial once in Liberty Falls. Unfortunately, I didn't capture it, but it definitely is possible. But overall, they're a really fun way to, you know, experience different play styles. Some of the challenges like get crouch kills, get kills from above, get kills from below, hold out in a different section. They're similar to Cold Wars, but they feel a lot more unique and a lot more fun to do as a whole, and they feel a bit more rewarding. So you know what, if you're looking to get good upgrades early, or even perks or weapons or whatever, then definitely give the SAM trials a shot, as they're a lot of fun to do, and they sort of change up the gameplay a little bit. Up next is the fact that it's more challenging than Cold War Zombies. While I think in my opinion it could be a little bit more challenging, you're still required to play smarter and you feel more vulnerable overall. This makes things like high rounds more difficult. Now the one reason that Cold War was super easy overall was the fact that you could upgrade everything, all your perks, your weapons, you name it, and you'd keep your upgrades, and once you keep your upgrades you couldn't remove them or anything like that. You were just a super soldier 24/7, so games felt exactly the same and there was no challenge to it whatsoever. This time you've got to pick your upgrades, figure out what you need to do next. You can't have like all the upgrades at once. You're going to have 2 per perk, per ammo mod and per field upgrade, so there's a lot less going on there, and the weapons are more underpowered. It's a more balanced experience. There's more boss zombies to watch out for. Many different factors, but it's a step in the right direction because it makes the game feel more replayable as a whole and more intriguing to play. Now let's talk about the storyline for Black Ops 6. In my opinion, I love the direction of the storyline and its connection with the Chaos story back in Black Ops 4. We could see some really cool zombies experience if Treyarch plays this right. Now this is really important. So if those of you who don't know, Black Ops 4 was sort of based on Greek mythology, the Greek gods, and based on something called the Sentinel Artifacts, and in my opinion it was a really ambitious storyline. It was a shame that they cut it from Black Ops 4, but I'm super hyped up with the boy Black for Black Ops 6 and tied it in with the Dark Ether storyline. I can't wait to see where it goes. It looks like we're going to Avalon for DLC 1. As you know, Citadel Day More has been confirmed to be released as of the time of this recording, so it'll be honestly something really looked up forward to in the future. Up next, nice and quick one, but I love the augment system. It gives players options on what upgrades to have on each perk, ammo mod and field upgrade. It just adds so much more variety, so many different play styles, and I can't wait to see what field upgrades, perks, etc. get added to the future and what options there'll be in terms of augments for them. Honestly, really good. Really glad they removed the traditional skill tree that they had from Cold War where you could have everything at once. I'm glad the augments are here to provide more variety and options. And last but not least, let's talk about the return of the Gobblegums. I think overall this is a good thing. You can earn them in game and buy packs in the store. These packs allow you to actually know what you're going to get in the Gobblegums. It's not like Dr. Monty's Factory or anything like that where it's all randomised and you might not never get a perkaholic. You actually get clear and proper clarity of what Gobblegums you're going to get. And you're also not allowed to buy loads and loads of packs. There's actually a limit. I can't remember what that limit is fully, but you can't buy like 1 million of them at once, for example. You're limited, so it's not overpowered and the game's not too pay to win. Although I like the fact that there is a set crew in Black Ops 6 Zombies, as I mentioned in my good points, the set crew is actually also not very good so far, and I'm going to explain why. Although there is a set crew, I feel like the characters lack that personality and that charm we got from previous games. For example, the Ultimus crew, we knew that Nikolai was a drunk mess, we knew that Tank Dempsey was a super soldier, we knew Richtofen was that mad scientist, and we knew Taco was like a soldier that worships the Emperor. And then we had the Primus crew, which was the very similar character base, but they were a bit more serious and a bit more down to earth compared to the Ultimus crew. We had all that going on. And then we had a Chaos crew, and while they weren't very good, they had a lot more personality than this crew. The quotes on this still feel operator based, very generic. While they do add a bit more personality to the game, I'm not going to say they don't because there is story elements in there. There still needs to be a much more integrated and proper character development in this game because at the moment it's a bit lackluster. Next, we need to talk about the enemy types in this game. While I think the enemies such as the vermin, parasites and amangalams, for example, really fit the aesthetic well for Terminus, for example, I don't like the fact, however, that manglers, for example, are just shoved in Terminus and Liberty Falls just for the sake of it. They don't fit the map whatsoever. How on earth does a mangler fit the theme of Terminus, for example, is beyond me. Then the Abomination, yes, well, I do understand there needs to be a special enemy in the map, I guess, to, you know, increase the challenge or whatever. I just feel like the Abomination again is out of place, and I think the map is too small for that enemy type. I think Treyarch needs to take a little bit more care of what enemies they're adding instead of just spamming repetitive enemies over and over again just for the sake of it. And also, What is with the vermin in bloody Liberty Falls? Makes no sense. This next point is actually quite controversial. A lot of people probably won't agree with this, but this is my take on it anyway. I genuinely think that the directing mode should not be allowed to be used for camo grinds. I will admit that I've used this once or twice myself, but directing mode makes the grind feel a bit bland, boring, and really easy, and takes all the challenge and the grind out of it completely. I'm not saying camos should take forever and ever to grind, because I personally think the zombie camo grind is far too long anyway, but I don't think having the directing mode as an alternative is a fair way of doing it, because there's some players that do it legit and spend hours and hours and hours, and you've got someone who just hops on directing mode, kills zombies on, let's say, round 11 over and over and over again for every single weapon, and it's not fair on the players who have tried hard and earn their way to get the Nebula cam. I think it's completely unfair, and this needs to be changed somehow in some way to make it better, whether it's reducing the amount of kills or headshots or whatever for challenges, and potentially capping the amount of time you can use directing mode. I genuinely think this is the wrong approach. So this is a nice and quick one, but I think the Abomination Liberty Falls is very annoying to deal with. Its eyes don't open anywhere near enough, and they just spawn in way too much, especially on the higher rounds, and cause some game flow problems, such as, you know, rounds slowing down because the Abomination's knocked over a load of zombies on the floor, and you end up spending the end of every round just dealing with them. It's not a fun experience, and they need to sort these out, make them a bit easier to kill, a bit more manageable, and they'd actually be an okay enemy type. Now let's talk about weapon types. In my opinion, certain weapon types are still, in my opinion, practically useless past round 30. Now, I understand that every weapon can't be overpowered and get you to round 100, for example. However, the game has a camo grind which takes a very long time to complete, and having weapons limited in this way makes grinding extremely painful, and also the gameplay ruins the gameplay flow as a whole, and I'm not enjoying it at the moment with certain weapon types being this weak. For example, I think assault rifles still need a buff, SMGs still need a buff, the only viable weapons are certain shotguns, certain sniper rifles, and they are the meta. I think this is completely unfair, and it's going to push people to only use those weapon types, and this needs to change. So this is a nice and simple one, but I think the amalgam in Terminus grabs you way too much, and I mean way too much. Like, you can just be running around and the next thing you know, it grabs you, then it grabs you again, then it keeps on doing it over and over and over again. And I can't see any way to counter this attack. I don't think there is one. So once you get grabbed by this thing, you finish, and there's not really any particular reason for it to happen. It'll just happen randomly whenever it wants, and I think it's very inconsistent and very unfair. The amount of times this has got me killed is actually ridiculous. Now let's go back to another controversial point, and I genuinely think that the weapon rarity system should not be back, and I'm really disappointed that they chose to bring it back in Black Ops 6. It takes way too long and unnecessarily complicates the upgrade system, in my opinion. There was never any issues back in Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, World at War, Black Ops 3, whatever you want to call it. Just to pack punch your weapon a couple of times and then everything's upgraded, job done. You have to spend upwards of, what, 40 to 50,000 points to upgrade your weapon altogether for tier 1, tier 2 and tier 3 pack-a-punch. Then you have to get like 6,000-7,000 salvage to fully upgrade your weapon's rarity. It's too tedious, and it doesn't encourage people to use other weapons either, because you're going to want to stick with your primary weapon that you've loaded in with this system. You're not going to want to explore different options because it takes far too long and it's way too tedious. Yes, you can buy legendary weapons off the wall, but they're over 5,000 points each with no variety in price beyond that. It's a shocking system, and again, this needs to be looked at. And last but not least on the bad list is the new perk, Melee Macchiato. Overall, it is absolutely awful in my opinion. Yes, I genuinely think it is pretty good for melee weapons such as the baseball bat and the knife, but it doesn't serve any other purpose beyond that. When you're using the base form of it and you're using the punch, which is supposed to be this really cool, powerful punch, it's anything but. It does hardly any damage and isn't a one-shot kill past like the round 20s, which I think is absolutely terrible. And it's so slow and stiff to use with its base form, and even with the upgrades. It puts you at more risk, in my opinion. It's not worth using, even in any situation ever apart from the melee weapons. It's absolutely terrible, and I genuinely think this perk needs a major buff because it's a new perk and I feel like it's just been completely brushed under the carpet like it's nothing, and it's just been added for a gimmick. The first thing that really sucks on this game is the point system. You don't get any points for damage you do to the zombies, just like in the classic system. Instead, the point system is as follows. You get 90 points for a body kill, 105 points for a melee kill, and 115 points for a headshot. That is literally it. There's no way to earn points by doing damage. You don't get 10 points for shooting the feet or anything like that. It's just those amounts. That is it. What really bothers me about this point system in particular is, why on earth do you only get 105 points for a melee kill, but 115 for a headshot? Because melee kills put you at a higher risk, and that makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. Like, you have to go up to the zombies, you have to knife them, and you've got a risk of getting hit. Headshots, you're just getting headshots, and yeah, you have to have a bit of accuracy, cool, but that's literally it. It's unbelievable. It just makes no sense. And in previous games, this has never been the case. So, for example, in the classic point system, you got 130 points for a knife kill, and then you got 100 points for the headshot. I've got no idea why they changed this. It makes no sense. I mean, this was in Cold War as well, and it annoyed me in Cold War as well, but this is just unbelievably stupid. Overall, this system makes earning points way more difficult than it needs to be, and that is about it really. And I really think they should have revised this and reward players for playing strategically as well to earn those points, because at the moment everyone's just on the same level and it's very boring and very annoying and very tedious. Up next, let's talk about the Vermin rounds stroke Parasite rounds on both Liberty Falls and Terminus. They last way too long. They are not hard to complete, but can take half an hour plus in some cases, and it's just completely unnecessary. If they're not hard to kill, what's the point of adding more enemies into it? It doesn't add any challenge, it just prolongs the game for no reason. And all these rounds are doing is just delaying basically the high round attempts way too much. People have to save and quit. It's completely unnecessary. Completely kills gameplay flow. Why is it every time you do a special round? Because the special rounds back, let's say in Black Ops 3 for example, there'd be 6-7 dogs spawning, job done. There's a little reward, a little treat for your hard work. You got your max ammo. Now you have to spend God knows how long on these Vermin and Parasite rounds, which seem to last forever, and it's not fair. It's completely unnecessary. If they were hard enemies, I'd understand it maybe a little bit more because it's more of a challenge, but there's just no challenge to it, so it's pretty much doesn't serve any purpose whatsoever. And last but not least, you guys knew this was coming, but the Mangler spam is my least favourite thing about this game by an absolute mile. It doesn't even come close. The amount of times I have died to these things is unbelievable. The Mangler spam is absolutely awful, and by far the worst thing in this game. They fire their cannons way too much, while they're sometimes in groups of 10 or more. You heard me correctly, 10 or more. The amount of times I've died because of the Manglers is actually disgusting. It's not never by normal zombie or skill issue. It's because there's about 6 Manglers at once spamming their cannons. You can see in the gameplay, they just spam the cannons over and over again. It makes the high round experience incredibly miserable. I just don't understand why Treyarch think it's acceptable, or that people love Manglers so much that this many need to be in the map at once. I'd rather have a new enemy type in the high rounds that provides me with a challenge to add a bit of variety. What's the point of adding Manglers? It's just annoying. There's going to be a stage, I swear, probably isn't the case, but there's going to be a stage where there's going to be bloody more Manglers than zombies in some of these new DLC maps, if this is how much you love the Mangler. They bring this thing back from literally brought this thing back so many times. In Black Ops 3 it was in the game, and then in Cold War it was in nearly every single map apart from D Machine. It's a complete joke, and I hope these things never ever return in future DLC, but I'm not holding my breath. All I'm asking, to be quite honest with you, even though I don't want them to return, is just reduce the spam on higher rounds to make it a more enjoyable and balanced experience, so I don't die unfairly by getting whacked by a Mangler or cannon zapped at 1,000 miles an hour without having any chance to react. It's completely insane. Anyway, guys, thank you very, very much for watching this review. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe as well. There's probably stuff I've missed. Let me know what your thoughts are on the game in the comments below, and if any more points you'd like me to cover in a future video, also pointing that out to me. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace out.